running with a snowman on a cold winter's eve. It feels like Christmas to me. Snowfall creating beautiful scenes. Santa Claus is coming. December falls, I'm buzzing. I wish I could stay forever young, young for Christmas.
Hello and welcome along to a special early Christmas edition of DieCastRestos. I have something a little different for you this week, so I'll start from the beginning. Back in June, I was contacted by Josh, who wanted me to create a diecast van for him that he could use to advertise his new Christmas song, Young for Christmas. I was more than happy to oblige, so I asked him for casting ideas and designs. Josh found this model Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that he liked the look of on eBay. He then plotted out some designs for the van, and after some toing and froing, we came up with what you'll see at the end of this video. Do go and check out Josh's track. I'll leave a link to it here, and I'll drop it in the description, the comments, and leave a link at the outro. It's a lovely track, very festive, and I'm more than happy to help Josh promote his work. So let's jump into this build. The Sprinter Josh chose is manufactured by Hong Kong company Kinsmart. This is a Chinese-made 1/48 scale model with a pull back and go traction motor. Its driver and passenger doors open, as do the rear cargo doors. It's available in red, white, blue, black, a yellow DHL edition, or a brown UPS edition. And soon there'll be a one-of-a-kind Joshua Edwards edition too. Dismantling it, I find that it's actually pretty well put together. It's a far cry from the cheap imitation models of years gone by. A lot of the parts are connected by plastic sprues that just need pushing out. The trouble is that there are just so many of them, such as these tiny grills. There's also plenty of jiggling with flathead screwdrivers to free up the parts. I really like how well detailed this interior is. The last piece to be removed is the windshield, and with that I can now display all of the parts. In 2 pictures, mind. Metal parts first, and all the plastic parts second. Like I said, there's a lot of them. Now it's time to remove the white paint using no-nonsense paint and varnish stripper. I'm using this instead of my trusty caustic soda method for one reason and one reason only. The van's too big for my caustic soda bowl. It happily sits in the food container filled with 4 years worth of spent paint stripper though. It works wonders too, with nothing remaining when it comes to polishing up the metal parts with my wire brush attachments. I'll pop in a quick word on the real MB Sprinter. It was the replacement for Mercedes' aging TN van in 1995, featuring much more aerodynamic styling. It has also been sold as the Dodge or Freightliner Sprinter. This casting is based on the post-2019 third generation Sprinter. The second generation Volkswagen LT and first generation Crafter vans were badge engineered Sprinters. So after the rear doors have been primed, I move on to the body. I start by using the same fine surface primer and then run out, so I switch to Tamiya's thicker grey primer. This should be fine to use on this larger scale model, however, it is lumpy and has pooled in a few places on this left side. Elsewhere it seems mostly fine though, so I've filed and sanded down the problem areas, and I can thankfully report that after a second coat of thick primer, it has a smooth finish. So we can move on to paint application. This is a new high coat shade for me, Ford's Dark True Blue. Josh wanted a dark blue painted van that would match the colour of his song's artwork. I do appreciate a good dark or navy blue, and I think this one in particular does a fantastic job at matching Josh's Christmas card look. As a little extra Christmas treat, I'm painting in some festive colours on those boring brown boxes from the back of the van. I'm following the moulded lines and colouring each package a different colour using my variety of Artistro 0.7mm paint pen shades. I then go a bit wild with the silver and gold in particular, drawing in the ribbons of the gifts. I know my paintwork isn't perfect on these, but I wanted to add in this little handcrafted touch, something out of the ordinary compared to my usual processes. Besides, if Josh doesn't like it, he can keep those rear doors sealed shut. Now it's time to apply the artwork decals. Josh supplied these for me to turn into water slides. The gift tag is the Young for Christmas artwork, attached to a red ribbon that wraps around the van, including across the top. I have to apply the door and front wing section ribbon pieces separately in order to allow the doors to open and close. This was a slow but satisfying process. Nothing really went wrong with the application, which is rare for homemade decals for me. Due to the light nature of the lettering, I had to print the decals out onto white backed waterslide paper instead of clear. In order for that to work, I had to print out a background blue that matched the paint colour. I think that the rear turned out quite well, and you'll see shortly I needed to do the same for the sides too. This had to be sliced into sections the same as the ribbon to allow the doors to open and close. This was less of a challenge than I originally expected, lining up the letters. But with that, all of the design features have been transferred to the van. I'm really pleased with the paper-like quality of the ribbon, the lettering alignment, and the colours of the gift tag. It was brilliantly designed by Josh, and it gives off a real festive vibe. All of those decals are secured with Mr. Mark's softer solution and the excess rolled out before they are sealed with a coat of clear lacquer. I went in heavy on this to make it extra glossy. Now to put it all back together. The windshield goes back in first, after it was last out earlier, and that is followed by the wonderfully detailed dashboard. That pair of grills from the bonnet are push fit next with a bit of force. Then it's the door cards and mirror piece. It takes a bit of aligning, but I get there eventually. Another push fit piece is the rear door glass. The same goes for the tail lights. The lens of the headlights loosely sits inside. That is held in place by the big black plastic bumper which clicks into position. Behind the lens goes this chrome-plated plastic part which gives the headlights their depth. Now the rear compartment is rebuilt with each side and bulkhead. The rear doors are guided into place, and then I can reintroduce that seating and rear compartment piece. Finally, the base is brought together with the body and can be screwed together again. Here's a reminder about how the Sprinter looked when I bought it ready for Josh's Christmas conversion. To me, it was a surprisingly well put together and certainly detailed model. It also provided the perfect blank canvas for advertising Josh's song Young for Christmas. All that it required from me was stripping it down, repainting it, printing out Josh's artwork onto decal paper, and then transferring it onto the van. And this is how Josh's van now looks. Josh asked for a dark blue Mercedes Sprinter van that could host his design work in order to be a neat little advertising piece for his Christmas song. Hopefully with this result it hit the right notes for Josh. Do go and give his track a listen. I'll leave links in the description, comments, and I'll play out the video with an excerpt. This has been an interesting detour for me, working to spec with a scale larger than I traditionally use. But it has been good fun, especially the prep in putting the video together. So let me know in the comments what you think of the results and how you like Josh's song. All being well, I should be back with another Christmassy video slightly closer to the big day. So that is it from me today. Stick around to give the track a listen, but all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.
I'm running with a snowman on a cold winter's eve. It feels like Christmas to me. Snowfall created beautiful scenes. Santa Claus is coming. December falls, I'm buzzing. I wish I could stay forever young.